Hello, everybody. It is Thursday, September 23rd, 2021, and we're going to get started with our pre-market analysis on the S&P 500 futures market. Real quick here, just want to show some of the great turns in the market that we had yesterday, right off some of our eye levels. So, got a pretty nice turn here just before the open, right off our eye level, broke by a few ticks. And then this was one of the better trades that we called here in the trade room yesterday, which was after we pulled back from here, got the bounce and broke through the eye level on this side. It came up and pulled back. Interestingly enough, we turned at another eye level up top there, pulled back, and then right here, right back into that eye level and got a beautiful bounce right out of there, right off the 38% retracement of that leg. And then eventually, after we got, after this little battle we had up in this area, notice we held our eye level that was down over in this area, held that for a while, eventually broke out, continued to push to the upside, found some resistance right off the next eye level. Not too much that happened there at midday, and then towards the end of the day, we came right up to our eye level. Essentially, the high of the day was our eye level there. And then we sold off going into kind of the last hour of trading there and bounced right off another eye level we had down here. So some pretty awesome stuff yesterday in terms of that. And then I just noticed here in the pre-market session, if we could go back, well, you can see that we pushed up, found an eye level there, pulled back, pushed up to our next eye level, found a lot of resistance in that area, eventually broke out and then held above it. And then in the pre-market here, we came up and came right to our eye level, right up in this 24 area. And then on the pullback, came down and then bounced off the top end of this previous resistance where the eye level was there. And then looks like we held it and then found resistance right at the eye level that we bounced off of over here. So that was in the pre-market, and that brings us right into right now. So pretty awesome stuff there. Let's go ahead and jump up to the ultra high time frames here and take a look-see. Quarterly has a lot more time to develop, still looking pretty strong. No signs of exhaustion from that perspective. We get to the monthly here. Looks like there has been some recovery there from the lows we made back, I believe, on the 20th. And so it looks like a little recovery there. What we're going to have to see here on the monthly is price continue to push higher and see this RVI at least close up over here in the 90s, or else we will have the argument there for a bearish divergence. And we do have today, tomorrow, and then all of next week before this candle does close and that signal finally forms. So we'll have to kind of revisit that. And then on the weekly here, that candle that we talked about having the huge wick to the downside, you can see as we continue to recover from this correction, is starting to look even stronger. So we do have, again, all those arguments that could be made for a bullish divergence. And now that beautiful, what looks to be almost a reversal candle there. So we'll have to continue to watch this. Again, this will close at the end of tomorrow, and we'll actually have a firm signal there. And then on our daily here, we talked about how we had a little bit of this kind of triangle, and we've broken out now as of now. So we'll get rid of that, just kind of a visual aid. And what happened back here on the low on the 20th is that's the last time we really had any type of multiple time frame setup. So everything over here in the last, so back on the 21st, on the 22nd, and even this morning, we don't have any type of strong multiple time frame setups. But this down here was the last time we did have any type of confluence. And so, although you can't see a very strong case for a bullish divergence on the daily, this was kind of the last area where everything lined up. And since then, from 42.94, we have pushed into 44.20. So over 100 points, maybe 120, 130 points there. And right now, on the daily, we don't have any signs of exhaustion in the current push. So there's no signs of a reversal from this higher time frame perspective right now. But if you look, and interestingly enough, we had this push down from the all-time high, came down, made that low on September 20th, got the multiple time frame bullish signal from there, and we pushed up, and look where we turned in the market. First of all, we did have an eye level sitting right up there. So the high of the overnight session was one of our eye levels that we had on the charts for our members. On top of that, look at where we previously found support in the market. So when the market sold off here from all-time highs, came down, made a low here at 44.25 quarter. And then from there, the bulls tried to kind of jump back in and push this guy, but only got it, whatever it was, 50 points. And then they continued to sell off. Well, as we broke through that 25 area and pulled back, we came up, and now look at where we found resistance. The high was 24.75. So we're talking a difference of 2 ticks, and found some resistance. On top of that, we're right at, I believe, a relevant retracement level. So that makes sense that we did get some resistance there. Let's go down to our 4-hour here, and you can see even clearer. There's the lows that we made. Again, 44.25 quarter was the extreme low back there. Got the bounce, pulled back, and when we came back up, that's exactly where we pulled back from. So not too surprising there. Now what I'm seeing on the 4-hour is a very clear bearish divergence off of that overnight high. We didn't see it on the daily. The weekly obviously does not have enough resolution, but the 4-hour does have a bearish divergence right off this overnight high. Again, going back to that low we made on September 20th, this low did not have the 4-hour either. So we didn't have the daily or the 4-hour, but then I believe all the time frames below that is where we got the bullish divergence. And again, that's the last time we had a nice clear multiple time frame bullish setup. Everything else since then has really not kind of come together. Now this morning we might get a nice big confluence up here, but we'll just have to see as we dial down. So let's take a look at our 60-minute now. Again, retracement wise, that's what I forgot to mention. On this push down from all-time high to the low where we got the multiple time frame set up on the 20th, we are now back up, and look at that, right essentially at the 50% retracement. You can see you got a little bit of a wick up, again, coming right into that previous support from back on September 14th there. But overall, the body of the candle still below the 50% retracement. So kind of a nice little alignment there as well from that perspective. Let's go down to the 60-minute. And the 60-minute does not really have a strong bearish case off the overnight high. Now we could go all the way back to the swing highs up here, make that kind of argument, but we have a lot of stuff in between that I'd rather not jump over. So you can see here that the last time we made this high, we're essentially, after that, we're now looking from this high forward. So I don't want to look all the way back there. In the local area here, definitely no clear signs of a bearish divergence. So right now, all we have is that one 4-hour argument. And then on the 60-minute here, again, going back to that low we made on the 20th, you can see a little subsequent bar type divergence there. And so that's why I said from the 60 down, we'll see that bullish divergence. But outside of that, no other multiple time frame stuff setting up in the last few days here. Let's go to our intermediate time frames and take a look at the 30-minute here. And from this 30-minute perspective, also don't really have a nice clear bearish divergence in this area. But from the last major swing high on RVI here, in this local cluster right here, you definitely do have the argument for a bearish divergence off that high. Now here's the thing that I don't like, and that is the fact that we do kind of have to cut through price right here. You see this swing high. We have to kind of go through that in order to draw this, which I'm not in love with. But there is that argument there, so we'll go ahead and leave that on the 30-minute. So just to reiterate, there's a 4-hour bearish divergence that's very clear up here, and then we have this 30-minute argument as well. So we didn't see it on the 60, so we're not getting a straight alignment clear across, which tells me that we're probably not going to have a very strong bearish case this morning from that overnight high. but we do have 2 time frames giving that right now. And then from the bullish case, we do have, again, the 30-minute gave a very clear bullish divergence back on the lows from September 20th. But then up in this area here, do have a little bit of a bullish divergence right now off of, it's not the overnight low, but off of the pullback that we have right here. A little bit of an argument there. If I go back to my 60-minute, I just want to take a look and see. And the 60-minute kind of also has this. You can see it right now. But there's still in progress. We have about 40 to 45 minutes here for this candle to close on the 60-minute. And then another 12 minutes on that 30-minute. So things could change. But we do have that little argument right now over there. And just kind of looking at some of this other stuff. Maybe some minor arguments off of some of these pullbacks from yesterday. But nothing too sexy. So that's what we got there on the 30-minute. And let's take a look at the 10-minute here. And the 10-minute did have a bearish divergence off the highs of the overnight. And currently right now, no type of bullish divergence here. So that little bullish divergence we have off the current low that we just made, let me get the actual number, 95.25. There are some time frames showing a bullish divergence. The 10-minute doesn't show it, but the 30 and the 60 had it. So again, not necessarily a strong case there, but there's something else that's more important to point out about where we're bouncing right now. And we'll take a look at that real quickly and then wrap everything up here. Maybe the 3-minute would be the best time frame to look so we can see everything. Notice that we're bouncing right off of the previous resistance area in the market here. Now we did kind of push through that major swing high, but overall I would say right around 97 here is where we found the most resistance in the market. 97, 98. The market came down and bounced at 95.50 there. So we do have some decent structure in the market over in here, and we are bouncing in that general area. So there is that. And then from a retracement perspective, we do have the major leg from the low all the way up. So there's going to be probably a deeper retracement for that I don't want to focus on right now. But there are some good support and resistance levels below us. And of course, we have our eye levels for our members. To look for things to hang our hat on here for some trades this morning. And let me just quickly run through everything again because I know we go through a lot here. Our ultra high time frames all looking very strong. Maybe some signs of exhaustion when we get to the monthly there. Our weekly has that really nice bullish case right now off of the major low we made back on the 20th. So things look strong there. Our daily also, we talked about this very bearish looking bar here. We broke above that, so things are looking somewhat bullish here on the daily. And then when we get to the 4-hour, we get our first bearish indication off the overnight high. But we don't have a very strong case up here across multiple time frames. All we really have is this 4-hour, and then our 60-minute did not have it, but our 30-minute did. So it's no clear bearish case off the overnight highs, telling me that we could potentially push higher because there's really no clear case for a full-on reversal right now off the overnight high. So I would expect that we could push a little bit higher here. And I think that's where we'll leave it for now. The intermediate time frames basically agree with that argument. And then keep in mind that the low that we just made off 95.25 down over here did have some time frames giving a bullish divergence, but not enough for there to be a nice clean sweep across multiple time frames to give us confidence in some type of stronger major push out of that area right now. So we can expect that overall this is not high enough in the market right now where we are right now. We might have a little bit of a deeper pullback, and if we do, we have some good relevant levels below us to play with. But again, we're expecting a push to higher highs this morning. So we'll go with that for now. And again, if anything changes in the market, we'll have to adapt to that and be nimble. And if things start to really sell off here, we'll flip our hats and start looking for some shorts. So let's jump over to our members pre-market section now.